Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast with Dan Casper.
Yesterday, on the eve of training camp, with everybody having to report today, the first practice tomorrow for the Packers. Packers locking up one of their younger star players, Zach Tom. Zach Tom agreeing to a 4-year contract. About $88 million, could be up to 92, it looks like, according to some reports out there, about $92 million. That's, according to Tom Pelissero. So a 4-year extension, $88 million, max value of $92. But the deal includes a $30.2 million signing bonus, which is the largest signing bonus for an offensive lineman in NFL history. When you look at those numbers and you look at that amount of money, you're probably thinking, man, the Packers spent a ton of money. But when you kind of look at it a little bit deeper here, might be, and people smarter than me when it comes to math and salary cap stuff. Now, I enjoy talking about salary cap. I enjoy figuring out salary cap stuff. For somebody who hates math and sucked at math as a student and such, for some reason, the NFL salary cap, I'm intrigued with that. And I love kind of following along and seeing how numbers work and contracts work and such. But still, people who are smarter than me out there kind of saying maybe it's a little bit of a deal for the Packers. And the big thing is because the signing bonus might be the only guarantee. The only guarantee on this contract could be the signing bonus for the Packers or for Zach Tom. So, again, how signing bonuses work for these? That player is going to get a check right away. They're going to cut him a check, $30 million. That's a big check, right? I mean, going to get that right away? That's a big check. But a lot of times you see with these contracts then, probably a very low base salary year one. I mean, you're talking maybe about $1 million, and I know just $1 million. A lot of us, everyone of us would love $1 million. But in terms of, pro athlete and such, probably going to be a very low base salary in year one. Then you kind of see it climb up a little bit later on here. But how these signing bonuses work in terms of cap hits, instead of taking a $30 million cap hit right away, because we know signing bonuses are guaranteed. Guaranteed money goes on the salary cap. A salary cap hit. You divide that 30 by the length of the deal. So it's a 4-year extension. You divide 30 for, it's a little under $8 million, right? To put it in perspective, when Elton Jenkins, who is looking for a contract adjustment right now, when the Packers gave Elton Jenkins a contract extension a couple of years ago, if we do it average per year, he was at a little over 8. Zach Tom, and remember, Elton Jenkins is a guard. Zach Tom, playing a premier position of tackle, is less. You're talking less than 8 average per year. So you look at it, yes, the highest signing bonus. And this is the key, too, when we get to these contracts, when you see, media people reporting it, you look at the end of that report from Tom Pelissero, okay? What's there? And I know I didn't read the whole thing, but it says the deal was done by Michael Hoffman and Nate Sullivan of Sports Law and Management. Of course, they're going to want that out there, their agency. They're going to want that nugget out there saying that Zach Tom just secured the largest signing bonus of any offensive lineman in history. That's going to make that agency look good. Great for Zach Tom. I'm not taking that away, not knocking that, nothing like that. That is absolutely fantastic for Zach Tom. But when you've got media members, we see it during free agency, right? The legal tampering day. When all those deals are sent through, a lot of the big media people are out there saying, deal was negotiated by so-and-so. Deal was done by this agent, that organization. The agents are feeding these people this info because they want it's a little bit of a PR stunt. It's a little bit of a marketing stunt. They want this info out there for prospective clients to say, wow, they were able to get Zach Tom the highest signing bonus for an offensive lineman, and he's a right tackle. I want to go to that group. I want to go to that agency. I want to see that. And when you break it down, and I think a big key with this thing too is, remember, it's an extension, right? It's added on to his deal. It's not like he's a free agent and he signed a brand new contract. It's an extension. So you break it down even more. I think it's a really good deal for the Packers. I think it'll eventually be a very good deal for the Packers, assuming that Zach Tom still plays at an incredibly high level, and obviously that he doesn't get hurt. Now, I saw some people out there kind of throwing out the idea, maybe, well, why did he take less? Why did he get not as much money and such? And there might be. There's some speculation is it still draft status because he wasn't a first-round pick. He wasn't a second-round pick. He was fifth-round pick and such. So there's that narrative out there that's kind of like, did that still affect him? And that maybe, possibly. But, again, I would say that's the job of the agents to make sure that their client, their player, gets the absolute best deal possible. So where are the Packers at now in terms of salary cap? That's probably what everybody wants to know at this point. Where are they at in terms of the salary cap? If you add in the Zach Tom deal, which, we're still going to see more details coming through. That's the biggest thing. We got to see obviously finding out the signing bonus one. That's a key figure into this. But once we find a little bit more, we'll kind of have a better idea of how the salary cap fits for Green Bay here. But I think there's still going to be room for Green Bay to possibly do some more deals if they want to do. Rob Domofsky, our good buddy Rob, said that this deal does not affect Elgton Jenkins in any way, but it seems like, according to Rob, that Green Bay is willing to talk, but they may do so in season after maybe as he says it, sounds like the Packers are willing to talk, but possibly not till later in the season after he's settled in at center. So they probably want to see a little bit of a sample size, a little bit of a bigger sample size of Elgton Jenkins at center before they negotiate the contracts and such. Which I get it from the Packers side. They want to see that. They want to make sure it all goes good and fine and dandy and all that fun stuff. But it'll be interesting to see when Elgton Jenkins first talks to the media at camp. I don't see Elgton Jenkins saying anything negative. He's still getting paid a pretty good number. I don't think he's going to say anything negative about Zach Tom's deal, or he's going to say anything negative about, Zach Tom got a contract before I did, and that. He's not going to say that. But I think what will be interesting is to kind of see. I think everybody's just kind of curious to see his thoughts, his reaction to where everything's currently at. Maybe trying to find some of that information there. So if you follow like Ken Ingalls on Twitter, he does a fantastic job with the Packers salary cap and such. And as he put it, with Zach Tom done, the Packers don't have any top priority extensions to work out before the season begins. They can take a wait-and-see approach with their remaining guys, as they have many pending free agents who won't all stick around. Choices will be made. Devontae Wyatt probably gets a new deal before the new league year kicks off. They don't want him at his $13 million fifth-year option number if they can avoid it. Quay, Watson, Ryan, Dobbs, Enagbare, Rashid, and Willis are all fighting for second contracts, plus Van Ness, Musgrave, Reed, Kraft, Wooden, Wicks, Brooks, Valentine all become extension eligible in January. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see who's next on the priority list, because we have heard from Goody and I mean multiple times. We heard about it at the Combine. We've heard about it elsewhere that they want to get a deal done for Quay Walker. And so far, we haven't gotten a deal done for Quay Walker. Now, I know there's some fans who don't want Quay Walker back. They don't want him to get a big contract. They don't want him to have a contract out there. Okay? But it sure seems like Green Bay wants to secure him. Now, does Quay Walker try to bet on himself this year? Does he go into this year and say, you know what? I'm going to bet on myself before I sign a deal. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to ball out. I'm going to increase that price tag. Look at Bond last year for the Eagles. A little bit of a different scenario. I mean, he signed a contract to go play for the Eagles, and he just absolutely balled out, and he got a huge payday afterwards, and rightfully so, for the former Badger. But does Quay Walker do that? Or does Quay Walker, I don't know if there's a deal on the table for Quay Walker. Does he try to bet on himself for this year to try to increase that number, to try to increase that payday, or does he take the security? Who's next on the priority list for Green Bay? If that's the list we look at, what say you, Packers fans? Who would be the next one on that priority list for you that you would like to see Green Bay try to lock up? Let's maybe focus on the guys that are eligible for extensions now. So take away Jaden Reed, take away Tucker Kraft and Lucas Van Ness and Valentine. Take those guys away because they're not eligible until January, until next year. Let's look at the guys who are eligible right now. Devontae Wyatt, Quay Walker, Watson, Ryan, Dobbs, Enagbare, Rashid, and Willis. Who do you think should be the next priority on this list for Green Bay? Is it Wyatt? Remember, they picked up the fifth-year option, so they got a little bit of protection there, but as Ken noted, they probably don't want to pay him the $13 million guaranteed portion for next year. They probably want to try to lower that cap hit a bit. Is it Rasheed Walker? I don't know if it's Rasheed Walker. Unless he just absolutely dominates, and easily wins that left tackle competition in camp over a guy like Jordan Morgan. Quay. Watson. I don't know if it'll be Watson yet. Again, I'm not opposed to bringing Watson back, but I don't know if I'd give him a deal right now. What about Dobbs? So kind of an informal poll question I'm throwing out to you Packers fans of the guys who are next up. Who are next up for and take Jenkins out of this too with the restructure or a new deal or something like that. I'm talking about the guys who are still on rookie deals right now that are eligible for new contracts. Now that Zach Tom is done. And he ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Is it Quay? Is it Devontae? Is it Watson? Is it Sean Ryan? Is it Romeo Dobbs? Is it Enagbare? Is it Rashid? Or is it Malik Willis? The Malik Willis one's interesting to me because obviously his stock rose after last year. And I don't think Green Bay is going to do a contract with him this year. And if I'm Malik, I may want to see if I can get a nice payday elsewhere. I don't think a team would give him a chance to be in a starting situation. Could be completely wrong. I mean, it could be completely off on that one. But I would imagine that Malik Willis may want to try to bet on himself a little bit, see if he can get a nice payday elsewhere. I would not be opposed to bringing him back as a backup quarterback for the next couple of years, though. I like the fact of a veteran quarterback as your main backup and such, but we'll kind of see on that. I think it's between Wyatt and Quay as the guys right now that'll probably. I think the priority for Green Bay is going to be Quay. I think it's still Quay, and that one to me is going to be interesting to see where the numbers come in. Especially if it's before the season. How much are they willing to give to Quay, and how much are they willing to guarantee to Quay Walker for a player that I think it's fair to say has been inconsistent? As a first-round pick, he's been up and down. We've seen some great play from Quay Walker. We've seen some poor play from Quay Walker. We've seen some questionable play from Quay Walker. Been up and down. The consistency part of it has just been frustrating. Great that he practices great, apparently. Great that he's awesome at practice. But we got to see that consistency on the regular season, on the field during the regular season. So to me, that's going to be interesting if they do work out something. How that one kind of comes together. I don't know if both sides would be able to agree to a very incentive-heavy type of deal where, okay, you hit these benchmarks and such, and then you get a little bit more for Green Bay to maybe try to protect themselves in that aspect. But again, does Quay want that? Does he want to try to bet on himself and try to ball out and get a big-time contract?